Top 15 extreme weather events that made history. One bolt of lightning carries enough energy to toast 100,000 slices of bread, and that is nothing compared to what is coming. From fire tornadoes to ice storms that paralyzed entire countries, these 15 extreme weather events didn't just make history, they rewrote the rules of nature. Number 12 is something scientists thought was impossible until it happened. If you could permanently eliminate just one kind of extreme weather, what would it be? Floods? Heat waves? Superstorms? Drop your answer in the comments. Let's see what humanity fears most. 1. The tri-state tornado. A windstorm without mercy. This tornado didn't hopscotch across the Midwest. It devoured it. Traveling 219 miles, it's still the deadliest tornado in U.S. history. Build a disaster plan. Wind speed waits for no one. One town had just 90 seconds of warning. 2. Black Saturday bushfires. When fire made its own weather, the flames were so intense, they created fire-generated thunderstorms. These pyrocumulonimbus clouds rained embers miles away. Monitor wind shifts during the fire season. They change everything. Eyewitnesses said the sky turned blood orange. 3. The European heat wave silent. Sweating death temperatures soared past 104 degrees Fahrenheit in France. Thousands died quietly in their homes. This event killed over 70,000 across the continent. Check on vulnerable neighbors during heat waves. It saves lives. Cities weren't built for this kind of heat, and it showed. 4. Hurricane Katrina. A city drowned, the levees broke, but the system failed long before that. Katrina caused over $125 billion in damage and displaced millions. Never underestimate the impact of aging infrastructure. The storm surge buried neighborhoods like forgotten secrets. 5. Texas ice storm. When the South froze solid. It wasn't just ice, it was a total grid failure. People burned furniture to stay alive in their own homes. Backup power isn't just for rural areas anymore. Some homes reached 30 degrees Fahrenheit indoors. 6. Cyclone Nargis. The forgotten catastrophe, a deadly combination, 135 miles per hour winds plus 12-foot storm surge. More than 130,000 people died, many in just one night. Don't ignore cyclone season alerts, especially near low-lying coasts. The storm obliterated entire fishing communities overnight. 7. The Dust Bowl. America's man-made apocalypse. It wasn't just drought. It was ecological collapse. Years of poor farming practices turned the Midwest into a wasteland. Soil stewardship is national security. That's no exaggeration. Children wore dust masks to bed just to breathe. 8. Typhoon Tip. The largest storm ever recorded at 1,380 miles wide. This storm could cover the entire U.S. East Coast. Winds peaked at 190 miles per hour, dwarfing almost every other typhoon. Size can be deadlier than speed. Watch the radar footprint. Planes flew around it for 3 days straight. 9. The Johnstown flood. Water turned weapon. A dam burst above the Pennsylvania town. 20 million tons of water followed. The wall of water hit at 40 miles per hour, wiping out everything. Pay attention to local dam inspections and complacency kills. The wave hurled locomotives like toys. 10. Bomb cyclone in Colorado. Winter on steroids. It wasn't snow. It was a pressure plunge so sharp it triggered a weather bomb. Winds topped 100 miles per hour as temperatures dropped 40 in hours. Park indoors when bombogenesis is forecasted. It's not hype. Denver's airport shut down for the first time in a decade. If you're loving this breakdown of Mother Nature's most savage moments, hit that subscribe button. We dive deep every week with stories that leave the weather app shaking. 11. Mount Washington blizzard. The wind that screamed 231 miles per hour gusts blasted the summit, a world record at the time. It felt like standing in a jet engine if the engine was freezing. Layered gear can mean the difference between frostbite and survival. Even instruments couldn't withstand the pressure. 12. The Great Smog of London, air that could kill. Not technically weather, but the fog acted like it. Cold weather trapped coal smoke over the city for 5 days. Clean air laws began because of this. History forced change. 4,000 people died some mid-stride. 13. The El Niño of 1997 to 1998, chaos by ocean, it triggered floods in Peru, wildfires in Indonesia, and tornadoes in the U.S. Global weather went haywire and billions in damages followed. Watch El Niño advisories. One ocean shift reshapes continents. It was the most expensive weather disaster before Katrina. 14. The Pakistan floods. A country submerged, a third of the entire country went underwater. 33 million affected, more than the population of Texas. Urban planning must adapt to shifting climate patterns. Crops, homes, and hope washed away together. 15. The hottest verified temperature. 134 degrees Fahrenheit of fury. The air felt like opening an oven and never closing it. Death Valley earned its name that day, and then some. Hydrate, acclimate, and never hike solo in extreme heat. The ground could cook an egg literally. From firestorms that create their own weather to floods that erase borders, nature's extremes remind us who's really in control. Want more jaw-dropping real-world breakdowns? Check out our next video on bizarre natural disasters you've never heard of, but should prepare for. This video is for informational purposes only. Not professional advice. Consult a qualified expert as needed.